Range and cells are fundamental objects in Excel VBA that allow us to interact with data in the worksheet. In Excel, a range refers to a group of cells, and it can be a single cell, a row, a column, or a more complex rectangular selection. VBA uses a specific syntax to refer to ranges and cells. In this lesson, we learn how to effectively reference and manipulate ranges and cells in VBA. It is important to be aware of the different ways you can write to access cells with VBA or macros. I'm going to show you how you can reference range and also reference cells. If you know all these, you can easily manipulate your VBA code or macros. So let's start with our code. Let's say sub range ref. Okay, so let's write this range, open a bracket, double quote, A1, double quote, and we close the bracket. We say dot value equal to 54. Now this value here, dot value, is a property of the range. It is a default property, so even if I leave it out, it will pick the value as a property. So I can decide not to include dot value. I can just write equal to 54, and our VBA code will still pick the value as a property. Now we are referencing a range which is A1. What is our A1? This is A1 here. This is A1, row 1, column 1. So if I run this code, I want to impute this number here, 54, into A1. So I will run this code and you will see what's going to happen. As you can see, we have 54 here. So that is me referencing A1, which is column 1, row 1. I can also do it like this. Let's say cells, open a bracket, and say 1, 1, close the bracket, dot value equals to 32. So what does this mean? Let's check it out. Row 1, column 1. So let's run it. You can see this is 32. So I can either use range A1 or I can use cells 1, 1, which is the same thing as row 1, column 1. So what if I do something like this? Let's say I write range, then A2, C2, close the brackets, equal to, let's say 50. Alright, so this is A2, C2. Where am I going to get this record? Let's check it out. You can see where we have it, A2 through C2, and we said 50. You can see it happens. It appears in A2, B2, and C2. So this means I want to impute 50 from A2 to C2. Now, what about this? Let me take this out so that it does not repeat itself again. Okay. So let me make this a comment so that VBA can ignore it. Okay, so what about I write something like this? Range A2, then C2, I include a comma, E2, F2. So let's say equal to 32. So I'm including a comma, then E2, F2. Let's see what's going to show. Oh, you can see it right now. This is from A2, B2, C2. It omitted D2 and it went to E2 and F2. You can see A2 through C2, then I included a comma, then E2 to F2. Now let's see this one also. Let me make this a comment. Okay, so let's see this one. Range A4, comma C4. So let's see what is going to happen. Equals to 44. Let's see how it's going to appear. Sorry. Range. Okay, let's bring it down. Now let's see what is going to appear here. You can see it right now. I said A4, comma C4, and this is what we got. A4, which is A, then row 4, then C, and also row 4. So this is how you can use a range to impute data into different cells in your Excel sheet. Now, to make referencing range or cells easier, you can do something like this. Let me take this out. let me first declare a variable dim test as range. Then I can say set test equal to range, and our range is A1 and D4, so A1 through D4. The set there is used when assigning a reference to an object variable. So in this case, we are assigning a reference to a range of cells. Then I can say test equal to 32. Okay, so I want to run this so we can see for ourselves. So the word test refers to a range of cells, and it is used when you want to reference a range of cells. So instead of me repeating this particular keyword range every time I want to write my code, I just have to use the word test. So if I want to reference that particular A1 through D4, I just write the word test, and anywhere the keyword test appears, I am referring to range A1 through D4. So I want to input the data 32 into those cells. Okay, so let me run the code and see what's going to happen. You can see here we have 32 all through from A1 to D4. You can see A1 through D4. If I want to clear all the data right now, let's say in range B2, I can just write this. So let me take this out. I can just say range B2 dot clear. Okay, so if I run my code, it's going to clear any data in B2. Now you know our B2, this is our B here, and this is our B2. So if I clean this, it's going to clean up. You can see it is out of here. So if you want to clean everything in column B, I can just say B2 through B4. So let's see what's going to happen. You can see from B2 to B4 is out. Sorry, I did not include B1. That's why you can see from B2, B3, B4, they are all out. I didn't include B1. That is why we still have this 32 here. Now, there's another way you can also do this. Yes, there's another way you can do this. So we can just say range. You can say range. Use another column. Let's say C2 through C4. Okay, let's say C1. So everything goes out. Then dot value equal to, so I'm giving an empty value in the cell which is range C1 to C4. So this is another way we can also clear data. If I run it, everything in C1 to C4 will be out. You can see there. So we have everything out of that range. Now if I want to clear the content in all the cells, it is still easy. So I just do this cells dot clear. That's just it. That's just the keyword. Cells dot clear. You run your code and boom, everything is out of the worksheet. So these are little things that you should know so that you can be able to write your code effectively. Now let me show you how you can count property of range. First I have to define a range, but first let me define a parameter. So dim, let's use another word, sample as range. Then let's set sample equal to range, and our range is what, let's say A1 through C4. Okay, then I want to insert a value into this range. So I will say sample dot value equal to, let's say 22. Then I will run the code and you will see what's going to happen. Okay, so I've inserted the value 22 into this range, and if I want to calculate the number of cells that has data in them, it is very easy. If I want to calculate the number of cells and also show it in a message box, I just need to write this message box, then sample dot count. So the count function can be used to count the number of cells that contain data within a specified range. So dot count. Then if I run this, you're going to see what's going to happen. It will count the number of cells that we have value inside and tell me by displaying it in a message box. You can see. So we have 12 cells that numbers are in, and if you do that, you see that is true. This is 3 and this is 4. So 3 times 4 will give you 12. And here we have it. So that is how you can really reference range and cells in VBA. It's very easy. Knowing all these things make your code easy for you to write. So I'm very sure you know how to reference ranges and cell with the help of this video. Now, please, if you have not dropped a review for this video, I will beg you to go do that right now. Drop a review and your rating. Tell me what you feel about this course. Do you like it? Was it a good investment with your money? But if you are still in doubt, no problem. You can keep going. And when you are done with the course, then you can drop your review and your rating, because it counts towards making other people know about this course. The more reviews and rating I get, the more Udemy increase the reach of this course to other people. All right. So see you in the next lesson.